2 weeks to go in the Stiles Electrical Premier League, and the ladder is starting to take shape. But given that there is so much other hockey around, we cannot wait to bring you another episode of the Hockey Hour. Jace Gabriel here with you, and alongside me, the legendary Bob Claxton's daughter, Jane. I thought I'd change it up this week. He will love that one.
Oh, yep, that's a name I've been known for most of my life. Less known for being Jane Claxton, so very proud of it, though. Very proud of it.
I thought you might enjoy that. Thank you for your company and joining us for another episode. A great show lined up. This is probably one of our bigger ones. We'll go through the Hockey WA news in a second. Some great mailbag questions, which is going to be fascinating to answer. We've got Lexie Pickering, our most recent. Well, actually, she's not the most recent. I think it's Jessie is the most recent.
Yes, true. Both
but they have both debuted this year. Both are now capped Hockeyroos, but Lexie Pickering will join us from the UWA Hockey Club to tell us about their season so far. A great win on the weekend for them, and tell us what life's like as a Hockeyroos. And then we have in the dugout section, we have another international coach, Jane. The Indian men's national coach, Craig Fulton, is going to join us. We're going to go international soon.
I know, honestly. People, how will we top this? Yeah. How will we top?
I'm actually concerned. We'll finish off with extra time, which is related to the finals of the Stiles Electrical Premier League. Potentially, where is the best position to finish? But let's start with the Hockey WA news, and it's been a wonderfully successful Hockey Australia Country Championships for our men's and women's teams. The WA women won bronze over the weekend, and the men's team have won gold. A fantastic effort by all players and coaches. The men's team had Kyle Potter, who played with UWA and has previously played with Melbourne the Wasps. He was the player of the tournament, which is a fantastic effort. Braden Dalton was the leading goal scorer. He's, of course, also played up here in Perth with Wasps. Fantastic to have both of those boys leading and winning individual medals, but I'm sure the team championship is what they love the most. If you haven't already, check out Hockey WA's social media, because Coach Laurie Tyler was invited to the cockpit of Virgin Australia to share it.
That is so rare. Yes. I didn't believe they even did it these days.
So when you bring a massive cup onto the plane, you're kind of getting the question asked there, aren't you? So great photo of Laurie and the captain of the flight of Virgin Australia. Thank you to them. If they want to sponsor the Hockey Hour, that would be fantastic.
Would love it. Love a little away at the end of our stressful season.
Yeah, absolutely. But congratulations to all men's and women's players and the off-field staff. A very, very successful country championships for our two teams.
Yeah, and of course, second news item this week is the Oceania Cup. So both Hockeyroos and Kookaburras are eagerly preparing to engage in some battle against the New Zealand Vantage Black Sticks in a massive 6-match series. It's now based back in Australia in 2025, so home soil advantage. Actually up in Darwin at the MWT Hockey Centre from September the 4th to the 7th. So first time international hockey has been up there since, I think, 8 years ago.
Yeah.
So if you're in and around Darwin or want a little getaway mid-school term, there's more info on www.hockey.org.au and follow the events tab all the way to Oceania Cup. But yeah, if you're around up in Darwin or want to be around some kind of high-quality Olympic-level hockey, please go and watch and obviously cheer on the Hockeyroos and Kookaburras.
Yeah, I'm going to be there. I cannot wait. It's going to be so cool to have that hockey centre packed out. It'll be a fantastic event. Jane, let's get to the mailbag, because we got some great questions.
Some legends.
Yeah, we certainly do. Let's get to number one. The Golden Girl, Stephanie Kershaw, our unofficial favourite here at the Hockey Hour.
Yeah.
She has written in. First question: who would win a 100-metre, a 5K, and a 20K race between the two of us? Now, when I read this, I'm like, this is a gloat from Steph, because she knows she would flog us in all three of those.
So did I. I was like, wow, thanks for writing it.
Now, I'm going to firstly say you will win the 20K because I've never run 20K and I have no interest in running 20K.
Yeah, don't. I ran one half marathon late last year and I thought it was like up until 15. I was like, this is easy. And then I just projectile vomited for the rest of that 5Ks.
Yeah, not about it. 20K is just way too far for me. To be fair, 5Ks is probably a bit too far for me. But I feel you've always been the better endurance athlete. So you would probably be...
Yeah, you would definitely get me 100 metres, I think.
You reckon?
Yeah. Or you might, if you warm up well and wear plenty of deep fannies, we're ready to go.
Have to look after myself. I would have to go full skins.
Yeah.
I reckon. Yeah, full compression.
Freeman.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You know what? I'd probably do that. Yeah. It's going to help me run faster. It would be very, very tight, I think. I've always been very quick over maybe 10, 15, if that.
Yeah, I'm similar. I'm
on a downhill.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't need the end range in hockey.
Well, that's right. Yeah. So there you go, Steph. I'm sure you knew the answers to those questions.
Yes. Just wanted to really pump me up.
Of course she did. Well, thank you. If you can think of another great question, we'd love to hear from you again, Steph. Number 2 is from Rohan.Ramesh 21. Should extra time, i.e. golden goal periods, be brought back to the Hockey One final series? I am a big yes.
Really?
Yes, 100%.
I feel like I'm so fatigued by that stage. I'm like, let this be over.
I'm all about it. I think that is what engages the crowd more than just going straight to a shootout.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I do like the hero story for goalies in shootouts. Like, I think that's their time to shine.
Yep.
Wouldn't want to take it away from them. But yeah, I would just have like these glimpses of a junior game when it was so hot and we were playing golden goal and I was just, I'm a corpse on a field.
I have played, well, luckily in the hockey, in the Stiles Electrical Premier League, there is golden goal. So there is a golden goal. There's 2 periods. I don't actually, is it golden goal? I think it is golden goal, 2 periods of golden goal before the shootout. So I like that.
One that will like get it's into it.
Yes.
Somerville scoring on that one. You do that 3 minutes ago. Actual.
I remember doing it as well. We're in a grand final and the 2012 grand final, and that was like, I remember looking back out for it was only a short period as well. Going, I don't know how to get through this.
You've got to send it in the first 3 minutes and just hope.
But Rowan, I am absolutely for it, and James sitting on the fence.
Yeah.
Because she's playing Hockey One this year. That's probably why. Question number 3. This is a fascinating one, Jane. We have one from Kieran Sanders. Hi, Jason Jane. As we get to the end of the season, I wanted to hear Jane's thoughts on the player-coach role this season. What have been some of the benefits and the challenges? And what support have you had put in place off the field to support you in that role? And then the question to me is, have you had any experience as a player with someone in this role? Thanks, and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Karen.
Would you like to go?
Yeah, cool. So probably best to clarify, I'm actually an assistant coach. I've never had the head coach title. That's Ben Wright at Reds Hockey Club. So that makes my role a little bit easier. I'm naturally probably a leader on the field, and so that kind of gives me probably more of the skill set associated with some level of coaching. And I do obviously help coaching either Tuesdays or Thursdays whenever Ben has to play or train with the Premier League men. So that's probably where I do most of my input. And at the start of the season, I kind of prefaced to Ben, I don't really believe in a player coach. I don't think it works very well if you don't have any support on the sideline and everyone's just relying on you, but you're also out on the field. I just don't see it working very well. And so I was like, I'm more than happy to be an assistant coach and like you can bounce ideas off me, but on game day I want to be purely a player. And then during the week I'm in that more coaching role.
Yep.
Of course, I always merge the two on game day and I can't help myself and always want to have some input, and he knows that and he knows how to say, calm down, Jane. But I find it would be incredibly difficult if you were the sole coach. You have to have someone on the sideline that you trust and that understands the way of play, because the small chats that people or players have when they come off the field are so valuable. Like, you need to be reinforcing some messages, you need to give them confidence, and if no one's there not doing it, I think it lacks a lot in the way of play and developing a culture. And so that's why I thought it was very important not to be that sole person or contact. And the benefits and challenges, I think the benefits of having like an assistant coach mindset on the field is you see the game in a different way than what a coach would just purely on the sideline. And I feel like you can understand like the momentum and player dynamic a little bit more, and so you can feed that to the coach. But I probably would do that outside of having the title anyway, just because I love being so analytical about the game, and I'm very intense when I'm playing hockey, people will be aware. And so always thinking of those types of things. And so I think that's probably one of the benefits of having more of that coach hat a little bit. But yeah, I would never, I'm probably like in the future happen to do it, and then someone will be like, oh, you said.
Perfect.
But I think it would be incredibly difficult to be a head coach and be productive on game day.
Yep, I agree. I think you 100% have to have someone really good on the sideline. I think Reds did it in the men with Ian Nashi, and obviously with Jack now. They have Butcher on the sideline, who's very, very good. He knows hockey very well and aligns it with those guys. I have had an experience with a player coach, Tim Bates, coached Vic Park a few years ago, and he played generally they play, and I think Nashi played, Ian Smith played in the free defender role. That's generally the position where you can see a lot. Trent Mitten obviously plays centre forward, so he sees it defensively from the other side, I guess. So I think it's nice to be able to see what's going on, and then obviously you can bounce it off probably the person on the
You can get really caught up in the game though, like hyperfixate on things that are really not relevant.
Correct.
And so that's why I think it's so valuable having that someone that's a bit removed on the sideline can have a more balanced view rather than you just going, oh, that's a random tangent. That's probably not productive.
Yep. I didn't mind it, but I would probably prefer, it was the first time I had it, so I was okay with it.
Yeah.
But I'd probably prefer the full-time coach on the sideline. So thank you, Kieran. Great question. This is one I got, this didn't come through specifically through the mailbag. This is a former mailbagger, George Watts. He sent me a text. He let me know that he's caught up on the episodes as he was driving up to Kalgoorlie. So he let me know that, gave me some feedback, told me I still say fantastic too much. So thanks, George. Told him to call me Mr. Fantastic from now on. He said in Germany, and this is based on our indoor hockey chat, that Minky is essentially an indoor hockey program. It is indoor hockey. So there's no cancellation for rain, emphasis on basics, obviously no hitting, and they get more touches on a smaller field. What do you think?
Yeah, Germans are always so smart, you know? It's really annoying. And they're very practical and pragmatic about it. They live in a country that's going to be cold over 6 months of the year, so why not get their kids indoors and, learning the game? And, I think indoors very probably well linked to learning the basics and being a real simplistic form of the game. It's like having your bumpers up in bowling.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you have the indoor style on the grass? Because obviously you're not going to have, in Australia, you're not going to be able to hire courts and stuff like that all the time. And obviously the cost that it's associated with that. Could you play an indoor style with boards on the grass? Do you reckon that's possible?
Don't know. Like, how flat grass are we talking?
I guess, yeah. Or maybe the same, you try to push the same rules, I guess, in, no hitting. You try to get them to put their sticks, below.
You try and do that already with them and they just do not.
No, they don't.
I am not listening to you. I think what would work well is because indoor obviously is on like a real flat surface and ball moves quickly, so you obviously develop that reaction time, but it's obviously easier to control for kids because it's not getting stuck at grass and you feel a lot more powerful maybe.
What I saw from Jake Wetton, obviously his young bloke Felix, played some, I don't know what they call it over there in Holland, but Felix played, they were on the turf, obviously the abundance of turf, but they play all their minky, and Felix is minky at the moment. They play all that on turf. So, that would be massively helpful. But again, it'll rely on having the Terps available, I suppose. So
no, I did see plenty of Instagram stories from Sam of his glorious goal celebration.
yes.
If you want to see some great content of Minky hockey, go to her page and look at his experience playing Minky in Holland.
Star. He's an absolute star, Felix Wetton. Thanks, George. I really appreciate the text, mate. And I'll try not to say fantastic too much. That's all for the mailbag this week. Make sure you keep an eye out for Hockey WA's Instagram story to submit your questions. We are certainly expecting another one from Steph Kershaw. So this is just an FYI for her.
Your Caribbean holiday?
Yes. But thank you, everyone. Please make sure you let us know your questions or your feedback. We'd love to hear it. All right, Jane, let's have a look at the results from the weekend's Stiles Electrical Premier League competitions and start with the ladies. And a 1-1 scoreline between Wasps and Melville. I think we picked this, didn't we? We said it was going to be dangerous.
Yeah,
Steph.
hard game.
Sophie Fedot and Casey Donaldson on the scoreboard for Wasps and Melville, respectively. That probably hurts Wasps' finals charge a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. That final fifth spot is what they're chasing, I assume.
Yep. It hurts it even more because later that day, UWA defeated Wolves 4-3. It was a brilliant game of hockey. Britt De Silva and Torva Sharwood scored first for UWA, and then Nasa Flynn went bang in the second, and then eventually got the winner in the 55th. Ellie Buckley got a double, and Ava Fraser-Edwards the single. That's a huge result for UWA.
Yeah, yep. And as we'll talk about later, I'm sure Lexie and the girls are pretty pumped about that late in the season.
Nothing to talk about the next game because it was a 0-0 draw, Jane.
Yeah, and no, as boring as it seems. No, it was an arm wrestle, which we knew it would be. And came away being like, it felt like a 0-0 draw.
Well, IMCC and Reds, no goals scored and share the points and probably ends your finals hopes, unfortunately.
We were, for some reason, still in some mathematical chance going into the game, but no, yeah.
The second v third game, Lions taking on Hale, was a ripper as well. A 4-3 win to Hale. They scored twice in the last quarter to get the chocolates. Alice Arnott, Chelsea Turner and Maria Guastavino on the scoreboard for Lions. Mickey Spano, Eliza Swain, and a double, including the winner to Claire Colwell. She's going to be very important for Hale.
Yes, I do believe so. They do obviously rely on her for corners. So if she's around for finals, that'll really bolster their chances. And I think we kind of said it's going to be a tight game, but I think I backed Lions just by their striking power. So, yeah, close. Yeah,
good game of hockey. A nice little finals prep. Vic Park finished off the round with a 4-1 victory over Whitford's. Whitford's got back 2-1 at one point too, so well done to them. Tatum Stewart, Beatrice Monga-Maloney, Carrie Somerville and Olivia Richardson on the scoreboard for Vic Park, and Jamie Murphy on the scoreboard for Whitford's. Let's have a look at the ladder now, and after 19 rounds, Wolves sit on top, 6 points clear. Lions have gone to 42 points. So second and third effectively are irrelevant because they're going to play each other anyway. Hale are comfortably in third because Vic Park have the bye coming up. So they're on 35. They're 4 points clear of UWA and Wasps. So Vic Park technically have secured their spot. They could move to fifth by the end of the year, but won't drop out. This is where the draw has hurt Wasps because UWA go to 31 points, Wasps on 29, and Wasps have a pretty hard run. I think they have Vic in the last round.
2 hard games coming up.
So Maddie Radcliffe still leading the Jackie Pereira leading goal scorer. Let's have a look at the games this weekend. UWA will play Raiders and should win that game pretty comfortably. Lions take on Wasps. I think Lions should win that game.
Yeah, I think so. I think, Stephanie's still out for this week, and also they wouldn't have their Hockeyroos because they've got Aussies versus Hockeyroos this weekend, so quite damaging.
Yes, that's going to hurt a little bit. So Lions, for the both of us, you should beat Whitford's.
Yep, we
should.
Yep, and if we don't, I don't know where to go to. No, we would obviously be wanting to finish on a high.
Absolutely. Melville and YMCC. This is our broadcast game on Sunday, so join Jane and I for this call. Probably with YMCC, I think.
Yeah, YMCC will obviously lose their goalie and Alana Kavanagh, so Zoe and Alana. But Melville obviously losing more in Wilson and Maddie Smith. But it will be a tight game, but
It'll be a good game.
YM start really strong, and if Melville can hold on, and then the fatigue drops, and they're really good at defending Melville.
Yeah, they've been very good this year, considering their first year back in.
Yeah.
Well, they're getting back in and obviously losing players, which we've talked about previously. Last game of the round, Hale and Wolves. What a belter that's going to be.
Yeah, what a game to have late in the season.
I like Hale, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm going to go with Wolves. They're going to lose.
And obviously no Mariah. And yeah.
I think Wolves for me. Great opportunity to prep for finals.
Yeah. Having removed a few of their key players and work on some other stuff.
Let's have a look at the men's side of the Stiles Electrical Premier League. Started Friday night, and it was a 7-0 victory for Hale over Mods Old Guildford. Ian Grobbler with a hat-trick, Sam Ashton, Sam McCulloch, Dan Sibold and Jack Pearce all with singles, so a good result there for Hale. We go to the Saturday games and, well, Reds upsetting YMCC. 2 losses in a row now for YMCC. It was comfortable, mostly. The Spruce Moose, scoring twice. 1 field goal as well. Don't mind that.
Oh, well done.
From Moosey. Brodie Foster, great to see. Great to see him back, and he's scoring goals as well. He got himself on the scoreboard. Marsh Pusey and Luke Blee also on the scoreboard for YMCC. But that's going to do all the world of good for Reds.
Yeah, they needed that. And it was not well, it was hard fought.
Yeah.
It was a bit scrappy in moments and back and forth. So I think there was even a quoted moment. So it was 45 seconds to go on the clock. I think YM had scored. And Brodie Foster tucked a ball under his top, ran back to the halfway line, was shouting for a ball from the ball kids, and then just drops another ball. And then there's 2 balls on, and the time's going, and everyone's confused. Why is there 2 balls in it?
Well done. I love that.
I'm like, how did you pull that off?
Gamesmanship.
Yeah.
I love it.
It was fascinating to watch. Neither have I. And I was like, that was so well pulled off that you can't be angry with it.
I'm about that. Well played. Very well played. We go to the next game, and Wasps going down to Melville, 3-1. James Day with a double, Davis Atkin with the single, and Freddie Britt in his last game for Wasps got on the score sheet. Melville just keep on winning because they have to, chasing Reds. So they're hunting, and a couple of games to come. So it'll be a fascinating finish for Melville. The game at UWA as well was an absolute ripper. 3-1 in favour of Wolves, over UWA. So that's a big result for Wolves.
They really went in there and shook it up.
They certainly did. Harry Golding opened the scoring for UWA, but Matty Edgar, James Cunningham and Tom Keating all on the score sheet, keeping Wolves in touch as well.
Yes.
This ladder's going to be very, very exciting. A 4-2 victory for Vic Park over Woodfords. Lawson Patton Williams, Jacob Wetton, Joel Crothers, and I happened to sneak myself onto the scoreboard.
So exciting.
Right. Yeah, it's always
total of 3 goals between us.
We offer lots.
Yeah.
Luke Milne with the double for Woodfords. And then the final game of the round, the competition ladder leaders had a 3-0 victory over Raiders. Gobbin Gill, Erin Hazel, and Chad Giles all on the score sheet. As we go to the updated ladder now, there is an asterisk still because Reds and Wolves have the rest of their 30 minutes, I think, to Tuesday.
Tuesday,
yeah.
Training's tragically been delayed.
No. So Fremantle now 1 point clear of Vic Park, and then Vic Park 4 points clear of UWA. UWA now 3 points clear of YMCC, who are in 4th, and Reds are currently sitting in 5th on 33. Melville with the game in hand, well, with 30 minutes in hand. Melville on 33. Hale on 32. and Wolves with 30 minutes in hand on 30, and they're currently leading that game.
Yeah, 3-1.
They're currently leading that game 3-1. So I would imagine the Aussie players will be replaced for the game. So I'm so fascinated as to what happens with that game.
Do you just go straight high overhead to the circle, Brody runs?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's going to be one of the replacements, right? So he will be utilised, obviously, and it will be very important for them. Like, I don't even know which way. 30, two goals is nothing, right? So they could win this game.
Draw or
they could come back and win this game, Reds. So it is Tuesday, where we're recording on a Monday, so it would have happened by the time this actually goes out to air. But it is so massive in the context of the season. Liam Flynn's still leading the Eric Pearce leading goal scorer, and he should take that out for this season. Let's have a look at the games coming up. So we've obviously just talked about the remainder of Reds and Wolves, which has huge ramifications. Then Reds will back up on the weekend against Whitfords and should win that game. This is probably the game of the weekend. Fremantle Cockburn and Vic Park. The winner will effectively, if Fremantle win, they will secure top spot.
Yep.
Vic Park win, they will go to top spot and then have to
first in the season to knock off any.
Freo's been there since basically round one or fair enough too. So massive game, that one. UWA should take the points over Raiders at UWA Super Turf. Mods and Old Guildford play Wasps at the Guildford Grammar, so Wasps should win that game.
Yep.
Hale at Wolves is now massive.
I sort of back Hale.
Yeah.
I think Wolves will be pretty... it'll be hard.
I think I'm going to go Hale, just to really throw a spanner in the works. Because now, if Reds win that game, YMCC are there on 37 points. So with 2 games to go, they're still catchable. I mean, they obviously want to push to try and get back to third to get the double chance, but they actually play Melville. So that's going to be a cracking game as well. It's
an exciting weekend of hockey. This will kind of, I think, push people in either direction.
Yes, this is going to be probably the defining factor, and I cannot wait because I love a last round climax.
Yeah.
We've had it. Probably not the word to use, but I'm going to go with it. Yep. Something to keep you on the edge of your seat. We cannot wait to see what is going to be required for the last round of the season. Hockey WA is thrilled to have the continued support of Stiles Electrical Services as the naming rights sponsor of the 2025 Premier League men's and women's competitions. With over 25 years of experience in sports lighting, Stiles Electrical Services is committed to supporting hockey's growth in WA by assisting clubs with floodlighting upgrades and strengthening pathways for athlete development. Their ongoing support will help enhance one of the world's strongest domestic hockey competitions, and we cannot thank them enough for their support. Visit stileselectrical.com.au to find out more about Stiles Electrical and how they can help your club. Time to chat to one of our players from the Stiles Electrical Premier League. We're going to go back to the women and... we've got one of WA's most recent hockey roos from the UWA Hockey Club. We've got Lexie Pickering. Welcome, Lex.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Let's find out first, though, what is your coffee order, Lex?
Coffee order. I sort of jumped off the caffeine a while ago, but I still order a decaf. So I get a decaf almond cap.
Oh, interesting.
And we haven't had that.
No, we definitely haven't had that.
Every hockey player seems addicted to caffeine.
Yeah,
it's
an outlier.
I like it. You always got to have one. Let's talk about the game of the weekend because there's an absolute ripper at home celebrating 20 years of your dual men and women's premierships. Talk us through this game because you brought down the second time for the year the monster that is Wolves.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, we were pretty stoked about that outcome. They're always a big rival for us, so it was really nice to get the win. And yeah, on the club day as well, made it even better. It was quite a close game. It was very back and forth. And I think, in our previous games, we've often been scored against or been up at the start of the game and been scored against and then sort of dropped our heads and lost our way a bit. So it was really nice to have that back and forth and have Wolves score quite a bit and, to still manage to come back after that was, pretty amazing and pretty proud of the group.
Fantastic.
Yeah, good timing, I think, to have that tough kind of game leading into finals. But overall, what has the team looked at this year or this season, and how have you guys progressed through the season, and what will you look back on and be proud of, or look to improve next year?
It has been a pretty tough season, and I haven't been sort of there for a lot of the games, but it has been a tough season for a lot of the girls, and we're not good at losing. We like winning, and the past couple of years we've been pretty consistent with that. And I think maybe we often rely on personnel quite a bit instead of cleaning up certain areas in the structure and connections. And I think it was probably good for us to have a bit more challenging games at the start of the season so we could sort of find those little gaps that are missing. And it showed in finals the last couple of years that because we didn't clean up those areas when we really went under pressure. And it is a young group, so those things sort of, those weaknesses showed a bit. It's been a really good opportunity to sort of work through that stuff. And as you said, to get that win on Saturday at, the pointy end of the season sort of shows we're going in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. We have noticed it has been a bit of an up and down season, and games where maybe yourself or Courtney or Jessie haven't been playing. It's it's made it become a bit tighter in the games you've played. So you probably are right in regards to personnel, but that's what obviously helps to breed the younger group coming through and help them to learn. You've got a nice run home. You've got the two bottom place teams over the next 2 weeks. You do have some pressure on you from Wasps, but having those two games must give you so much confidence to solidify your position in fifth and go into another final series.
Yeah, exactly. It will be nice to, I guess, have some easier games, hopefully, and have a bit more confidence going into those. And it's an opportunity to try some new things for the last few games. I guess the negative is not having maybe harder games closer to going into those big finals, but it still is a good opportunity for us.
Yeah, definitely. They can either trip you up or build a lot of confidence, and it's always nerve-wracking. It's almost more nerve-wracking playing those types of teams that are very unpredictable.
Yeah.
And as Jay said at the top, you're one of WA's most recent Hockeyroos. How has the transition been going from a Waste club environment to being in that Hockeyroos international environment? More so for the young girls, I guess, listening, looking at that being their pathway as well.
It's been amazing. It's definitely been a bit of a challenge for me because I wasn't really in Waste per se. I was training with them, but I haven't been in an institute for a few years since moving away from Sydney. And I guess I didn't get a lot of opportunities to play international level sort of games. I wasn't really in the development squad or anything like that. So it has been quite a big change for me. But it's awesome to play with girls that have years of experience atop of me, and to get the opportunities I have to go play overseas and play against big crowds and have my family come over and experience all that as well. It's been amazing and really sort of pushed my skills and sort of showed me that I've got quite a bit of work to do as well. But no, it's been nice.
It's been great to watch you, and from when I've watched, you certainly look comfortable at that level. Before we let you go, we have to touch on your debut. Tell us about the day and then after the game, all the way through.
Honestly, a lot of it's a bit of a blur, but I was pretty excited to play against the Dutch. Obviously, they're the elite of the elite, so very cool to just be in quite a close vicinity to them. And I was in awe of a lot of the game, stuck watching some of the skills and everything on display, and the crowd and everything was awesome. Obviously, losing by the amount we did wasn't.
Yeah, that can be deflating.
But like I also got to see some just unreal goals from their end and that sort of stuff. So yeah, no, it was very, very cool.
No, awesome, mate. Awesome. Look, thank you so much for your time. We very much appreciate it. We can't wait to hopefully see you run around up in Darwin for the Oceania Cup that's coming up. So we're crossing our fingers for your selection. And then I'm pretty sure it's back to work with the Thundersticks girls to try and protect that premiership and go 2 in a row. So thank you so much, Lex. We wish you and UWA girls all the very best, and we'll chat to you very soon, I'm sure. Now, Jane, the Dugout segment on our show has been blessed with some great coaches. We've had one international coach in Max Caldas. We now have a second international coach. We have the coach of the Indian men's team, who are currently here in Perth, Craig Fulton. Welcome to the Hockey Hour.
Thank you, guys. Pleasure to be here, and I look forward to having a chat.
Thank you so much. Of course, the Dugout is all about international coaches and well, not always international coaches, but coaches in general and their thoughts and their philosophies and things like that. So we appreciate all your insights you're about to share with us. But first and foremost, we always like to know with our guests what their coffee order is.
Piccolo.
Oh,
Small,
Piccolo.
strong, and not too big, but Alan Tan, who's our SNC, is also a fellow Australian, big coffee nut.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been on the coffee train with him, so it's actually been quite enjoyable.
Piccolo,
and it's good to be in Australia to drink it. It's quite strong, but it's done. It's short, sharp, and it's over.
Fantastic.
So
then we get going.
Many of our viewers may not know, but obviously you had a playing career before you were a coach. When you were a player, was coaching always in the pipeline, or when you finished your career as a player, what was the plan?
It's quite an interesting one because as soon as I finished school, I went to do a trade. So I became a plumber. So I got my mother. She beautiful lady, and she just said to me, do me one favor and do not go to university now. Please, can you do a trade for me? And I was like, okay. And at the end of the day, I went and did a plumbing apprenticeship for five years, and I was playing alongside that. And at that point, it was pretty clear. I was basically working long hours as a plumber, as an apprentice, because that's the game, right? And then I was training in the evening. So all my mates were at university, sleeping till 10, 11. And then I'd meet them at training in the evenings. And then I was super energized to go and play. And then as I started in the business world, I had two vehicles, 5 employees, a secretary, and we were doing 100 townhouses. And I had a partner, and it was all guns blazing. It was going in one direction. And then I got to a point I couldn't talk to pipes anymore. I was making good money. I really was. And then I was I don't really want to do this now. I'm 24, 25. I need to go play. And then I left to go overseas. And then I ended up as a player at Chelmsford Hockey Club. And then the following year, the coach left and they asked me to play a coach. And then that's what started the whole player coaching thing, because it's doable in the UK. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was still playing for the South African national team, and it actually helped me become a better player as soon as I started to coach, because as a player coach, you got to be in the top 3 of everything, the best in terms of fitness, tactically. You can't just say whatever you want and then do whatever is the opposite. There's no one's going to listen to you. So it was quite a cool progression, and it was really eye-opening. And at the same time, that was how I got paid, because I wasn't in the echelon where I would get paid just to play. I had a trial with Surbiton, and that was going to happen. And then this whole Chelmsford player coach position opened up, and then I said, no, I'll do that rather, because I think I can gain a lot more experience from it. And then it was a natural progression. I got an opportunity. We got married in 2003 to my wife, Nats. And then I got a job opportunity in Ireland. And this was, so this is how I ended up in Ireland. And it was for Pembroke Wanderers as a player coach. But I was selected for the South African men's team to play in the World Cup in Mönchengladbach. But the contract said Yeah, if you pre-season starts in September, but the World Cup was also August, September. So they said, you have to choose. So then I left playing for South Africa, didn't do the World Cup, and I went straight to player coach with the club in Ireland, and that was my international, and straight into player coach for 5 years with Pembroke, and then joined the Irish men's setup as an assistant coach. So that was the progression there.
Wow, what a hard decision to make, but yeah, obviously paid off.
Yeah, it was really rapid. It was really rapid because it was your job. Otherwise, I played the World Cup, but I don't have a job. So that was the worst part about it. It was made for me, to be honest. You know, in that way.
Not a bad way to go about it. Now you probably developed this from your time starting to coach to now. But what's your approach? How do you approach coaching, and I guess what are some of your philosophies in the coaching role?
Man, it's such an amazing. It's coaching is obviously super complicated in one aspect because you're dealing with humans, right? And everyone sees or has an opinion and can do it. You can do something 3-4 different ways. But I suppose the main objective is the risk about it. There's risk everywhere. Okay, so if we do it, if we don't do it, there's risk either way. But how much do you care about the whole process? So my whole philosophy is around risk, care, dream, expect. So the risk, we could play this way, we could play that way, we could have these players, we could choose those players. There's risk either way. Right, fine. So that's, everyone agrees. If we do this, it can work out. Great. If it doesn't work out, we could obviously be thinking twice about our decision. But how much do you care about the process? But how much do you care about the people in the process? Because everyone has systems, but individuals are in the system to make the system work. It doesn't mean that just because you have a good system, the system will work. It's the humans in the system that drive it to work. So you really got to put the human first before the player, before you know what that person does in the system. And then once you grab that trust, real trust, then you can be honest. And then the honest feedback will go, you know, we going towards your strengths, or we need to, you know, stay away from this area, whatever it is in that system that person needs to bring, you know, to make the system work. So that's one part of it. But ultimately, what's the dream? I'm playing hockey. I'm coaching hockey. When I was playing, I wanted to win a medal. I wanted to win, at least get Commonwealth Games, at least get close in the World Cup, at least get close in the Olympics. And it was not possible. We just weren't good enough. You know, we had a good team. We had did a few World Cups, Olympics from 96 all the way through to Athens, and we had good games, but we weren't good enough to get into the middle four, even push for top four. That's okay. But now I've been blessed to be with good teams, and with Ireland, we won a bronze. What was the dream? The dream was to play in a final, right? Because we were ranked 13th in the world, and then you end up playing in the Europeans, and we win bronze against England, who were ranked 5th at the time. We were outside. So that's a nice goal to have. That's the dream. And then the dream was to qualify Ireland to the Olympics, who hadn't done it for 100 years. Wow. 100 years. The team had not played in the Olympics for 100 years. So there's a making history point. Then you go to Belgium, and Belgium had played silver in, obviously, Rio. And I was with Ireland, and we finished 10th and they finished 2nd. And then I joined. And then it's like, okay, what's the gap between 2nd and 1st? You know, and you know how complicated that is. But then you've got a World Cup before it. And we won the World Cup at the time. And then we won the Euros at the time. And then we won gold. So what's the dream? The dream is like all of those things in one, which was such an amazing experience. So but there was a lot of hard work behind it, and details and personalities, and making it all click, and such a nice staff to work with, right? And then the other side of it is the expecting. So risk, care, dream, expect. The hard part is the expect, okay? Because a lot of people don't really expect to play on that level. So when you're playing with top teams, the individuals are good enough. They are world class, and they can play at that level. You know, that Belgian team had 7-8 game breakers that on any given day, if they played a 7, 8, 9 out of 10, there was 3 goals in it. You know, and you got Vinny in goals, and that's yeah, that's an amazing like combination of key players, and when they turn it on, they can beat anyone. And then that's what happened, And I suppose now moving across from Belgium into this Indian men's environment is super different. It's really on another level of culture and language, and like, so I'm gone from South Africa to Ireland to Belgium now to India, and I'm learning all the time around how does it all work, how do you have these languages, how do you have these players from different states, where they come from different academies, they played with each other for 10 years, but everyone from the north in Punjab to the south, they don't speak the same language. Now you put everything together, and then it's now all Hindi to a point, but most of them all speak, but some don't always understand each other. And it's just an interesting mix,
Yeah, that is
So from a philosophy, I'm still learning, put it that way.
That's great.
I'm still learning, I'm still learning because of where I'm coaching. So you can have a simple coaching philosophy, risk, care, dream, expect, but it changes everywhere you go.
For sure.
Because the risk is different.
Yes.
I love that.
You mentioned a very diverse coaching portfolio, but let's zoom in on your time in Belgium. Obviously, incredibly successful, winning the 2018 World Cup, Tokyo 2020 gold medal, and you mentioned the accolades before. Working along someone like Shane McLeod in that program, did you learn a lot or absorb a lot? And as you mentioned, what were the key, differentiating factors that resulted in having such a successful period in that Belgium team?
Yeah, I think it was balanced along with Adam Commons, with Shane, with Michelle von Hubel, all had different strengths. Mick Burnham is also the S&C. So once you have a aligned program from 18s or even 16s, 18s, 21s, all playing the same system, all trusting in the same kind of S&C, which when I joined, I was in charge of the Tokyo and Beyond project. So that was the group below. So like what we've started now with the India A, but that was the Tokyo and Beyond project, because I was assistant coach, but I also was a head coach of Ireland. So I said, give me the generation below and let me try and, get them ready within reason to fill. And a lot of those players are playing now, which is quite rewarding. But I think it would be more along the lines of the whole process needs time. It just needs consistency. So you set out your S&C, you set out the way that you want to play, and then you stick to it. You really stick to it. And then with that team, there was super amounts of experience in it, and the age of some of those players who had disappointment in previous Olympics. Like if you take London, if you take Beijing, and then they stuck it out, same group, maybe 2-3 new faces here and there. And then in Rio, they learned a big lesson that when they made the final, they celebrated like they'd won the final. And the problem was they didn't have enough in the tank to go back and, put in a performance worthy of being gold medalists. And come round to Tokyo, totally different delay of obviously COVID, everything that happened through that block. And we were just at that level, learning all those lessons that they'd done for the last 3 Olympic cycles. Some were 4, some were 5, so it's, it was a special time. But I would say consistency, planning, and also everything was aligned. All the coaching philosophies are aligned. All the S&C is aligned. All the competition blocks are aligned, and then players go from one group to the next group to the next group, playing the same system and getting really good at it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Continuity is so important especially when you've got.
Yeah, I think alignment and the process of taking time with your most experienced players, and they always say, it's tough to use it, but you got to lose a final to win a final, and that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened.
Let's turn our attention, obviously, to the Indian men's team now. I want to take you back to Paris. Of course, a second consecutive bronze medal. You led the team to, but I want to take you to the quarterfinal, because this is a very rare moment in a coach's career, or in hockey in general. You're down to 10 players with about 43 minutes left in the game. You're 1-1. You go on to win the shootouts, of course, in one of the greatest games in Olympic history. Talk us through some of your messaging after the red card was obviously handed out. What was your messaging and approach to the game with the players after that point?
I think it's quite an interesting scenario because the day before we'd had a very special kind of milestone. We played Australia. Okay, so our whole objective, and I'll tell you this story so it leads into this quarterfinal. So basically, what we wanted to do was to make sure we got to the quarterfinal before our last game. So we had to get a win against Ireland, get a win against New Zealand, and try obviously get a win against Argentina. And any one of those games could have gone either way because it was super tight. But we drew against Argentina, beat New Zealand on the first game, and beat Ireland. So we were already qualified for the quarters coming into playing the Australia game. And in 52 years, like, that was the last time that India beat Australia in the Olympics, and we knew it. And we'd had a real good build up towards it, and we played a good game on the day and scored some goals, defended well. So we came into playing GB, and we'd had some really tough games against them. And I know Revs, the coach, really, really well, but we'd had some things that we weren't happy with that had happened in terms of results and the way that we played and could have played better, what. And we set out our game plan. We knew they were all man-to-man for 60 minutes, and it's exactly how they want to play. The fact that we then went down to a red card, and it was 0-0 at the time when we got the red card, was almost like a surreal moment where you talk about it, you plan for these things, but actually, like when you're in Olympic Games in a quarterfinal, you get a red card, what's the first thing that goes through your mind? Like, how do you win from here?
Correct.
Basically.
I was going to say
And yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's a crazy thought process to go through. But with our team build, we had a team build in Switzerland with a guy called Mike Horn, who's organized by Paddy Upton, who's our sports psychologist. And we had one of the hardest team builds we've ever had, and it was off the record. It was amazing, to the point of amazingly insane, that it was on that edge between falling off the side of a mountain with 6 guys roped in, and also, it going completely right, and it could have gone wrong at any point. And because of that, we came off the mountain really looking at any situation in a hockey match where it's not life and death, it's just a match. But when we were in the mountain, this could have gone pear-shaped, and it was super exciting. At the same time, it was safe. I'm making it sound like a lot worse, but when you're standing on the side of a mountain, I can send you some photos, and you hanging there with a rope. It's like it's totally different, and you 1,500 meters up on the side of a mountain, and it's like, okay, this is not normal. And that kind of put everything into perspective, because when we came in at halftime, I said to the guys, let's be honest, no one wins from here. No one wins from here with 43 minutes is a red card. But imagine we get a result and we get to the end of the game and we're drawing and we take this to a shootout. That was the objective.
Of course.
We need to get a goal and we need to get this game to a shootout. And then I promise you, we've won the game. Once you finish this, you celebrate like you've won the game. We actually have won the game, because there's no ways we should have got to this point. But if you do, what are they thinking? And now we're taking it to a shootout. And I know, I just knew from that moment we were going to win the game. I honestly knew. And I think the players realized it as well, because they'd worked so hard for something that you get to your opportunity, you're not necessarily just going to turn around. And Srijesh was fantastic, but also our shootout takers, everyone scored. So it was, it was a special moment.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Now I guess bringing our minds into the present, obviously India are based over here at the moment in Perth. What are you guys hoping to get out of the games against the Cookers in prep for the Asia Cup?
I suppose, like any time you play the Kookaburras, they're going to test you on ball, off ball all the time, and at the speed that the boys are countering it. It's exactly where we need to be, because we need to play faster, than anyone that we play in the Asia Cup. And the only way to do that is to get tested and then put into that transition space where we turn over the ball, we got to get it back. We have the ball, we got to move it. So it's a little bit of that for 4 games. And we've got quite a big squad. So we've got 24 players here, and we've got some younger players that are potentially, going to play in the future. So we need to give them some games against a good opposition. But we've also done our selection, and now we need that team to play together and start to get on the same page and get aligned with our tactics and, start scoring some goals.
Brilliant. Well, we're so happy that you've firstly been able to join us, but we're always happy when the Indian men's national team or women's international team come over to Perth. We're very lucky here in Perth to be able to have you and play against the Kookaburras as well. But look,
for sure.
Thank you so much for your time. We very much appreciate it. It's been wonderful chatting to you, and we wish you all the very best for the Asia Cup coming up.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, Jane. I really appreciate the time. Just, good to share a few stories, and if it can help anyone along the way, then great.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Okay. Take care, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Oh, what a great chat with Craig Fulton. I really liked his mantra there.
Yeah, he's
and the risk, care, dream, and what was the last one? It was
E-word.
Expectation. Yeah.
I wonder if he has a tattoo of that.
Oh,
Really hope so.
yeah, that was. No, I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Extra time, Jane, and you were fascinated by this one. So you've brought this to the table. Which finals position is best to finish?
Yeah,
Now,
statistically, but also I think mentally as well.
interesting. Now, I went and obviously dug deep on Altius, and we can get up until 2017, the last effectively 7-8 years. Now, in the men, they've always been top 5, except for 2020, which was top 4, obviously in a special year. Now, the grand finalists in the last 7 years has always included the team that's finished on top, except for 2019. That's the only year.
At that.
Yeah. And then
More diversity.
it's which is pretty impressive because I guess we probably should have explained how it works. 4v5 first, and they is elimination. That's elimination final, and the qualifying final is 2v3, and the winner of that gets to play one who has effectively the weekend off, and then they play midweek fixtures. And the loser of 2v3 plays the winner of 4v5, elimination effectively from there. And then the winner of one and the winner of 2v3 and top of the ladder play to go direct into the grand final.
Wow, yes, it's more complicated than I'm used to in the women's side.
So a little bit more complicated, but effectively the top 3 get the double chance.
Yeah.
And then if we have a look at the winners from 2017, the team that finished in first has effectively won it most of the time. So four out of the, 4 out of the 8 times. 4 out of the 8 times. So 50% of the time, 1 wins. 2 has won twice, and 3 has won twice.
Yeah.
So
statistically, you want to finish first if you want to get a premiership.
Yep, it's been 1v2 in the men for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 out of the last 8 grand finals.
Does make sense.
And then 3 has been in it 3 times.
Yeah.
So that's fascinating. Now, for the women, they've traditionally been top 4. So this is the first year they'll go to top 5. So it's basically 1v2 to go straight to the grand final, 3v4 elimination, and then the winner and loser play off to get to the grand final. One has the team that's finished on top has been in every grand final except 2023. And second place has been in 5. So it's been 1v2 for 5 of the grand finals, 1v3 for 2, and then 2v3, 1. And then 1 has won it 5 times. So the team that finished on top has won it 5 times. And then second has won it twice, third has won it once.
Yeah. So again,
what do you think? So 1, based on stats, 1 is...
Yeah. And I think especially for women's, when we're transitioning to this new top 5 model, 1 is even more beneficial I think previously there was probably some thought about, that week off, you kind of relax and then you're trying to get back up again to be in finals. And so it wasn't really as valued. But I think in the new format, finishing top is probably more beneficial because you just don't have to deal with those really intense do or die games, which 4th and 5th will be dealing with all the way through if they want to get to the final.
It's so much harder to be consistent for longer, right? Over multiple games where you can come for a game, be absolutely up for it, win it, and then have a break, and then come back for a grand final and be then set up for it. So
I really think 4-5's worst place.
Yep.
You're
So
like
hard.
then going through some real trauma each weekend of like must win, like quarterfinal style at Olympics. Like my mind's going to where you're like do or die, and then finally if you do get to the grand final, surely you're exhausted from that type of course.
Fremantle Coburn almost did it last year. They came from, I think, 4th or 5th. I can't remember specifically which position, but they won, and then played UWA in the preliminary final, and unfortunately went down that day. But that was a big run, and it's taxing, right? Like you're just playing because you effectively got the way it works. You will play the weekend, you play Wednesday, and then you play the weekend again, and then you win those 3, you come back for the following week.
Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah. But I would say finishing second. Finishing second for me would be, and you win that 2v3.
Yep.
And then you just go on. Having that week off, especially say if we're in Red situation, we have a bye the last round. So say we finish first and then we have another week off. You've got 2 weeks off in a row.
Yeah. Yep.
So
different.
Exclusively fit for obviously Reds. But I reckon second potentially. You get that game, hard game, you do win, then you're more you don't have that week off. You can stay engaged. I think.
On memory, I think we did that in 2012. We played the 2v3, won that, then played one, and then won that, and then had the weekend off, and then came back for the grand final.
Yeah.
So
seems like a nice setup.
yes.
But you have to win, obviously, both.
Yes, correct. You do. Well, let us know what you think might be the best position to finish. Essentially, 1 is best, and then 2v3 are almost as good. So that's our thoughts for extra time. Thank you for another episode. Of course, you can catch all the episodes if you haven't listened to them on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or if you want to watch the video on YouTube. Jane's still clinging on to her Hockey Roos career, as you can tell. Wants to be a part, but has got rid of the sponos.
Yeah.
Or one of the sponos.
So they respect me.
But make sure you provide us all your feedback. Hockey_WA on Instagram to catch the video highlights, and look out for the mailbag or any other questions. You're welcome to hit up Jane or I. We're happy for your feedback. We'd love to hear it. But thank you for another episode.
No, thank you. Exciting times ahead for the hockey community in WA.
Enjoy your last weekend of hockey.
Thank you. I shall. It's been a long end of the season for us, but looking to end on a high note.
Cannot wait. Thank you for joining us this week's episode. We will chat to you next week.